Time passed swiftly, and Xiao Yin remained quietly within the Demon Fate Celestial Cave, slowly contemplating the concepts of immortality and indestructibility. As time went on, Xiao Yan's understanding of these profound principles grew clearer. It seemed that soon he would emerge from his seclusion, and when that day came, he would be unrecognizably stronger. Meanwhile, the monster realm, under the management of the various monster kings, was steadily recovering its vitality, preparing for the true war that would come in the future. With the large-scale movement within the monster realm, the collapse of the two demon-suppressing prisons triggered a ripple effect across the entire Great Thousand Worlds, causing everyone to grow more cautious. The news of the fall of the two demon-suppressing prisons, along with the death of two white kings and a red king at the hands of the demon emperor, quickly spread. The once feared name of the demon emperor was once again heard everywhere. In the ghost realm, Master. The demon emperor has resurfaced. In the past, the Master of Ferocious Souls participated in the three-realm sealing plan. I'm worried that the demon emperor might strike at our ferocious soul domain. Shouldn't we prepare in advance? After all, the power the demon emperor wields in the monster realm is not something our ferocious soul domain can rival at the moment. The stillness in the grand hall trembled as a dark shadow slowly emerged. This person was clearly a trusted confidant promoted by Duan Qifei, handsome in appearance, his entire body radiating a terrifying aura of ghostly energy, and his strength had reached the rank of 8-star Do Xian. In the silent hall, a graceful figure sat quietly upon a throne. Her beautiful eyes were gently closed, seemingly resting her spirit in peaceful tranquility. The throne was exquisitely crafted, yet it contained countless gray thunderbolts, a power that seemed to carry the taste of reincarnation. Soon, Master will fully awaken. By then, we will have earned the right to touch upon those matters. As for the monster realm, according to the intelligence I've gathered, the Demon Emperor's lover has been captured, and the Demon Emperor's strength is currently weak after just breaking the seal. He won't strike at us for the time being. The figure on the throne bit her silver teeth, speaking seriously. Even with her current power, she felt a sense of trepidation when facing the Demon Emperor. After all, the Thunder Lord's power had yet to fully reincarnate. If it did, then with both Duan Qifei and the Thunder Lord together, even the Demon Emperor would likely have to retreat for the time being. However, my queen, I just fear. At this moment, the dark figure of the guard dared not speak further, slowly shaking his head. How is the Master of Ferocious Souls doing? After thinking for a while, Duan Qifei couldn't help but ask. His power has been stripped, and there are no signs of any rebellion. He has been living quietly in that region for many years now, the dark figure replied. That's good. That place will be a good home for him. Duan Qifei nodded in approval. By the way, Your Majesty, there's something I don't know whether I should say. After hesitating for a moment, the dark figure spoke. Speak. Duan Qifei waved her hand elegantly, her figure illuminated by crackling arcs of lightning, accentuating her graceful curves. Soul Hall has been in close contact with the 10,000 Ghosts Kingdom recently, and with the fall of the two demon-suppressing prisons, the activities of the extraterritorial evil clan have become more apparent. I'm afraid that soon, the dimensional rift will completely shatter. The dark figure spoke with evident concern, and as he mentioned the dimensional rift, his body shuddered. Leave it to me. Also, send enough people to keep an eye on the boundless fire domain at all times. Duan Qifei shook her head helplessly. Clearly, she had no choice but to face these matters with her reincarnation power. She couldn't escape it. My queen, what does that boy have to deserve such attention? Hearing Duan Qifei's words from the throne, the dark figure's emotions stirred, his face reddening as his heartbeat quickened. Unable to suppress his emotions, he shouted out loud. If he dies, Master will never awaken again. Go. At this moment, brilliant gray thunderbolts filled the air behind Duan Qifei, and with the final words, she dismissed the dark figure. However, whether those last words were meant for herself or a lie directed at the dark figure was uncertain. In the soul-devouring domain of the ghost realm, Master, we have already kept a close watch on the boundless fire domain. If there is any movement, we will notify you immediately. At this moment, Bai Zhe appeared in a quiet forest within the soul-devouring domain, respectfully speaking to the master of soul-devouring seated in a pavilion. That's good. It's a pity about Nai. Ever since she came back, she's been frowning. Not long ago, I sent her to sever her worldly ties. Hopefully, she will be lucky. By the way, what about the Demon Emperor? After a brief pause, the Master of Soul Devouring stood up, a terrifying aura of dominance filling the air. Soul Hall and Sin seemed to be putting in all their effort to help the extraterritorial evil clan crack the dimensional rift. However, after losing 3 of their top generals this time, the extraterritorial evil clan might have other plans, Bai Zhe said respectfully. Send more people, and have someone approach the Demon Emperor. We'll need to gather more power to investigate the secret behind the Xiao clan's disappearance. The sound lingered for a moment before the area fell back into silence. In the demon realm, atop a vast and evil sea of demonic energy, a lone figure stood. Despite their thin frame, the malevolent aura around them was overwhelming, clearly carrying the taste of reincarnation. This bastard! The Demon Emperor actually broke the seal? And both demon-suppressing prisons in the monster realm have been shattered. Heaven is against me, damn it. An incredibly furious roar erupted, causing the entire demonic sea to tremble. He was once the realm lord of one of the 5 lower realms of the demon realm. When the Demon Emperor attacked the Great Thousand Worlds, his realm suffered the heaviest losses. He had even allied with the Master of Ferocious Souls in the Ghost Realm and the formless Demon Zen Master of the Buddhist Realm, combining overwhelming forces to kill the Demon Emperor. However, because the Demon Emperor possessed the indestructible technique, they could only hastily seal him away. But the place of that seal contained the divine techniques of the 3 realms. How could it be so easily broken? This can't go on. This matter must be discussed quickly with the formless Demon Zen Master. After all, it was our 2 forces that caused the most damage to the Demon Emperor. And with the change of dynasty in the ferocious soul domain, it's impossible for them to stand with us. After speaking, the figure hurried off, using some demonic weapons to conceal their presence as they headed toward the Buddhist realm. In the Buddhist realm, in a rather tranquil temple, golden Buddhist light poured from the temple, and the sound of countless chants washed over the hearts of those present, cleansing their impurities and brightening their minds. Evil clouds have appeared, and a great battle is imminent. This prosperous world may not last much longer. In the past, this humble monk committed many wrongs. If my life is to be taken, let it be taken from me. Amitabha, my sins, my sins. Meanwhile, in the Hell realm, Immortal realm, Human realm, and even the Netherworld realm, there was an eerie calm. Beneath this calm, some unknown conspiracies were slowly brewing. Xiao Yan's understanding of the immortal body clearly wasn't something that could be achieved in a short time. As he focused, the soul jade inside him, long forgotten for years, started to vibrate strangely. This was the soul jade used to record the opening of the ancient emperor's cave in the Do-Chi continent. After the 5 emperors broke through the sky, they each left a trace of their soul power on it, allowing them to sense it. At this moment, a trace of soul power on the soul jade vibrated violently. It was the figure of a beautiful woman named Xun'er. At the same time, as the soul jade stirred, troubling events were unfolding across Do-Yun continent. Do-Yun continent was vast, and at its core, in the territory of the 7 great ancient races, within the Gu clan's domain. The Gu clan, being one of the top 7 ancient clans, now occupied a rich vein of spiritual energy in the core of Do-Yun continent. Here, clouds and mist swirled, forming 7 enormous peaks. The peaks slowly interwove, creating an ancient and mysterious pattern in the spiritual vein. At this time, at the void passage protecting this realm, the only entrance to the Gu clan's realm. Why are you here again? Several ancient Gu clan guards, seemingly lazy, appeared faintly in the area, guarding the vast domain of the Gu clan. Upon seeing a man and an elderly figure approaching, their expressions darkened. A strict order had already been issued that no guests were to be received during this special time. However, These two were of extraordinary status and had visited hundreds of times over the years, so they were somewhat familiar with them. As for why they came, it was because of Xun'er, who had already entered the Gu clan's forbidden ground long ago. The forbidden ground was said to have inherited the sacred flame, but it was a place full of danger. No one knew whether she was alive or dead. Moreover, although the Gu clan had ascended from Dodi continent, their long-standing pride made them disdainful of lower realm visitors. If not for Xun'er's exceptional beauty, extraordinary talent, and the protection of powerful figures within the clan, she would likely have been expelled long ago. Even now, many members of the clan still disapproved of her. Here's a small gift for you both. As he spoke, the seemingly slender and dignified man moved his hand, sending two exquisite pills flying toward them. This person was none other than Lu Hao, the child of light from the Holy Sea, who had relentlessly pursued Xiao Xun'er. 6th grade immortal pills? Has Miss Xun'er left seclusion? At this moment, Lu Hao slowly raised his head, his gaze piercing through the ancient clan's protective barrier, looking deep into its core as he gently inquired. My lord, to speak frankly, one of the two guards replied. Although Xun'er is incredibly gifted, she has been in the Gu clan's forbidden grounds for too long. While the forbidden grounds do indeed hold immense opportunities, no member of the clan has ever been able to pry into its secrets. There are even rumors that she has perished within the forbidden grounds, her body now nothing but bleached bones. My lord, you should seek another target, the other guard added, the two of them speaking in unison, their expressions gleaming with excitement. Since that's the case, I won't disturb her further. I'll come to visit in person another time, Lu Hao said before leaving with an air of grace. Is this Xun'er truly as remarkable as they say? Once he had walked some distance, the elder's gray hair concealed his eyes, but they flickered with an unfathomable aura as he muttered to himself. From the aura alone, it was clear that the old man's strength was immeasurable, at least that of an 8-star Do Xian. Old Yi, I must have this girl, whether it's her heart or her body. Lu Hao's voice turned sinister as he spoke, and dark thoughts began to surface. You little wretch, if I find out who dared to defile her, I'll make sure you wish you were never born. As for her soul, it'll be easy to cleanse it, erasing her memories. A woman like her, I must have both her heart and her body. His malicious words lingered, unaware that this twisted obsession would one day cost him his life. Even though he was the child of light in the Holy See, not even his position could protect him from his eventual downfall. Within the forbidden grounds of the Gu clan, this was the resting place of countless generations of powerful ancestors, as well as the sacred flame of the Gu clan's unclaimed inheritance. It was a land of immense riches, where divine and noble auras surged throughout the forbidden grounds. At this moment, a graceful figure appeared within. Looking around, the so-called sacred grounds of the Gu clan revealed towering mountain ranges. The paths were rugged, and all around the mountains, there were countless coffins of varying colors, each filled with bleached bones. The air was thick with a chilling, powerful aura that sent a shiver down one's spine. Phew! At this moment, a graceful figure slowly opened her eyes. Surrounding her slender waist, golden mist swirled, and her 3,000 strands of hair were partially concealed by the golden fog, revealing only glimpses of her beauty. That is the end, she murmured, her voice light and clear. Wait for me, Xiao. Suddenly, she lifted her head. Her beautiful eyes locked onto the mountain peak, and a soft, sweet voice rang through the silent, desolate mountain region. She was now very close to the mountain's summit, where a golden sun, wrapped in blazing flames, hung high in the sky. The aura and power emanating from this golden sun were strikingly similar to the strange flames within her own body. With each step she took, it felt as though she was carrying a weight of several 100,000 pounds. Sweat, tinged with silver, slowly dripped from her fair forehead. Yet, despite this, the girl didn't complain even once. She gritted her teeth, steadily moving towards the peak. She didn't know how long it would take, but with each step, her strength and her inner flames grew stronger. The victory ahead was in sight, and Xun'er clearly wasn't going to give up easily. Whoosh! Suddenly, the coffins below, which Xun'er had crossed over, began to shake violently. Bones scattered, releasing bursts of shocking power that shot toward her. This was the bloodline power of the Gu clan. Thank you, ancestors. Xun'er's pale face slowly began to flush with color as she stopped in her tracks, turned around, and deeply bowed to the countless coffins behind her. The power within those coffins continuously nourished her strength and bloodline, leaving her deeply moved. Boom! In that moment, an overwhelming force surrounded Xun'er, amplifying the aura of her strange flames to its limit. Subtle changes began to occur, and her flames started to mutate. It seemed that the golden sun wrapped in flames atop the mountain, sensing the strange fluctuations from Xun'er and the coffins, also slowly turned its attention toward her. A powerful divine aura burst forth. That power was a fluctuation of the sacred flame. From the aura alone, it was clear that this sacred flame was definitely one of the top 10. But even if Xun'er succeeded in fully inheriting and taming this sacred flame, it would likely take a considerable amount of time. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, over half a year had passed. During this time, Xiao remained in an exceptionally unique state. With the power of the undying fire and the immortal flame, he could clearly sense that the source of immortality and undying power came from the stone tablet in front of him. However, no matter how hard Xiao tried, he couldn't uncover a single detail of its secrets. As time passed, Xiao understanding of immortality and undying power grew deeper. It was a process of transformation from qualitative to quantitative change. Initially, Xiao relied on the mysterious demonic script on the stone tablet, but his comprehension of immortality and undying power remained at the level of indestructibility. It wasn't until later that Xiao realized he had been too absorbed in the process to see the truth. True immortality and undying power required using extremely subtle forces to reach an astonishing level, and exacting control over power. Only then did he absorb the true essence of immortality and undying power from the stone tablet. Deep in the demon fate celestial cave, in an ancient forest lake, a man in black slowly opened his eyes and exhaled softly. Around him, an indescribable light and airy aura surrounded his body. The aura emitted a faint yellow glow, rare yet incredibly sacred. Finally, I have truly comprehended immortality and undying power, the man in black said with a grin, his voice betraying an uncontrollable joy. The power of immortality and undyingness was extremely profound, but now Xiao had fully mastered it. Though he had not yet reached the level of the Demon Emperor, with this power, he could remain undying even while severely wounded, even in the hands of several reincarnation-level experts. However, as long as he was not immediately obliterated by his enemies, with the power of immortality and undyingness, Xiao was truly an undying body. That indomitable spirit made him an extremely fearsome foe. This journey to the monster realm had perhaps been one of the most rewarding for him, for with immortality and undying power, even the four-winged angels of the Holy Sea would find it hard to defeat him. However, when it came to suppression or sealing, Xiao might still be helpless. Still, immortality and undyingness were incredibly formidable crutches to rely on. After all, the number of beings capable of destroying someone with such power in the Great Thousand Worlds was likely very few. This journey to the monster realm has truly been full of twists and turns, Xiao sighed, stretching lazily. His body was now filled with many complex powers, and his Do skills were somewhat lacking. It seemed that he had to speed up his training, as he vaguely felt that the forces of the extraterritorial evil clan were closing in on him. Time was running out. Next, I must harmonize the many powers within me, concentrating on the four primary attributes of fire, wood, thunder, and water, as well as demonic power, mental and soul power, and the sacred flame. These are my pillars. They are indispensable. Once I completely fuse these powers, the path to reincarnation will surely be in front of me. Of course, there's also the restoration of the ancient ruler and the search for the third fragment of the sacred flame, Xiao murmured, a smile on his face. Yet, within his voice, there was a strange and incomprehensible strength. The latter two powers would have an immense impact on him, far beyond ordinary measure. However, whether it was the restoration of the ancient ruler or the search for the third fragment of the sacred flame, these were clearly not simple tasks. Still, Xiao believed that one day he would find them. Immortality and undyingness, truly magnificent. This power can rival the eternal flame in the sacred flame ranking. It burns eternally, never extinguishing, and is the true embodiment of undying fire. In future battles, this will be my trump card. Even typical reincarnation experts would be helpless against it, Xiao muttered, feeling ecstatic. Clearly, the power of immortality and undyingness had far exceeded his expectations. Buzz buzz. After Xiao fully comprehended immortality and undying power, the power within his body returned to normal. The stone tablet grew dim again, and countless creatures in the forest and lake emitted an aura of admiration and reverence toward him. Xiao understood that this was due to the energy clones of the Xiao clan experts earlier, but now, his mission was complete, and it had all dissipated. Since the Monster Realm journey is over, it's time for me to leave. The next step is the 100-year agreement. Only by uncovering the secrets of the Xiao clan can I determine the allies and enemies in the current Great Thousand Worlds. Otherwise, if I make the wrong choice, the consequences could be unimaginable. However, according to what the seniors said, it seems that there is some misunderstanding between the Xiao clan and the Guardians. Xiao stood up, his voice heavy. It has been several decades since I broke through the void, traveling from the continent of Doqi to the Great Thousand Worlds. During this time, Xiao has more or less guessed some of the secrets of the Xiao clan. However, with the Centennial Agreement drawing near, these secrets will likely be revealed on a grand scale. If even the Xiao clan's guardians are unaware, it seems the only way to uncover the truth is to investigate the netherworld. Whenever Xiao thinks about the so-called guardians of the Xiao clan, the image of that proud and stubborn girl always appears in his mind. Coupled with the messages left by the clan's predecessors, things might not be as simple as they seem. "Come out," he muttered. Pressing the indestructible and mysterious power back into his body, he waved his hand, causing the storage ring to tremble. A chilling lotus leaf slowly floated out of the ring. Whum, whum, whum. As the colorless, transparent ice lotus leaf emerged, it instantly erupted with a dazzlingly cold aura, sweeping over Xiao body. A subtle but unmistakable attempt to freeze him in place. The clash of cold and heat powers intertwined. If this were to strike an ordinary expert, the destructive power would be overwhelming. But unfortunately for the ice lotus leaf, it encountered Xiao. Just as expected, this lotus leaf is made of sacred flame, and its power is truly unfathomable. But I'm no longer the person I once was. With a slight smile, Xiao closed his eyes. When he opened them again, a sacred, fiery aura burst forth, immediately suppressing all the fluctuations of the ice lotus leaf. Let's begin. I don't know what the Xiao clan has done to the Guardians, but since I bear their blood, I will make it right. Su Shuiying, the Centennial Agreement, I'm coming. Xiao voice was unusually heavy. He gently touched the ice lotus leaf in front of him, and it transformed into countless ice threads that spread out. Boom! With a breath, the ice threads exploded into fiery arcs of heat, and in the blink of an eye, they intertwined into a cold light gate, shimmering in front of Xiao. So this lotus leaf is actually a high-tier space teleportation scroll. It seems that girl isn't as proud as she appears. Feeling the mysterious spatial power contained within the ice gate, Xiao smiled. This item, whether used to escape or to connect to the Guardian's passage, was incredibly precious. Su Shuiying had left such a thing for him, but no matter how he thought about it, Xiao couldn't bring himself to associate this thoughtful gesture with the cold, aloof Su Shuiying. Senior, farewell. Demon Realm, I will see you again. The next time, I will come with Kailin. His voice rang out, clear and confident, as Xiao stepped into the gate. Immediately, the surroundings fell silent. Thus, the journey to the Demon Realm came to a perfect end. As Xiao entered the space left to him by Su Shuiying's Ice Lotus, heading towards the Centennial Agreement, His destination also witnessed a series of surprising events. The scene shifted, following Xiao Yin into the space passage, and returned to the continent of Doyun. As everyone knows, the continent of Doyun is vast, home to not only the ancient 7 great races and transcendent powers like the Holy See, but also countless powerful forces. After all, Do-D continent is one of the most formidable territories in the human realm, a place where geniuses gather. However, on the outskirts of the continent of Doyun, there lies a forgotten land, where a foul stench fills the air. The place is permeated with eerie and sinister energies, which has caused it to be abandoned and forgotten by countless humans of the continent. The air here, and the foul energy, are unsuitable for human habitation or cultivation. Outside this land, within a 100-meter radius, nothing grows. Only some strange poisonous green vines exist. Within 1,000 miles, no human forces are present. Poisonous barriers are everywhere, and toxic swamps flow endlessly. The scene is truly terrifying, resembling a real death zone, devoid of life or vitality. And here, the guardians of the Xiao clan, once the vassals of the world's strongest clan, lie dormant. At first glance, this is an incredibly sinister swamp. The ground is covered with water, and green poisonous vines wriggle. Each time they move, bubbles emerge from the swamp-like ground, each one containing a deadly toxic barrier. Every explosion only makes the place more bizarre. Over the toxic swamp, countless eerie white bones appear. These bones float above the swamp in a very peculiar state. Some are human corpses, but most are large beast bones, similar to magical beasts. Strangely, these massive beast bones emit faint traces of power, resembling the vitality of humans. In the core of the poisonous swamp stands a mountain of bones, formed by the accumulation of countless skeletons. The aura emanating from this marshland was revolting, making it impossible for humans to survive here. The bone mountain was immense, stretching far into the distance. From afar, it resembled a mountain range made entirely of the bones of countless magical beasts. But upon closer inspection, a mysterious pattern emerged. Each bone seemed to be arranged in a strange sequence, resembling some sort of barrier, as if hiding something within. Whum! At that moment, a sudden, intense disturbance came from an area of the Bone Mountain's void. What's going on? Noticing the anomaly, a young man's confused voice echoed from within the mountain, followed by hesitation. This is... Before the humming sound could fade, Xiao Yan's figure appeared abruptly. The place he materialized wasn't anywhere else, but right beside Bone Mountain. However, the area beside Bone Mountain was a deadly place covered by poisonous green vines. Without the special power and protective barrier of Bone Mountain, Xiao Yan would likely die instantly here. This is a human? At this moment, 2 male figures, hidden within the Bone Mountain's barrier, observed Xiao Yan as if they were invisible, questioning in confusion. What's going on? One of the men, whose face looked frail, asked. I'm not sure, but Bone Mountain is protected by a barrier set by the matriarch. I don't think anyone could see through it. However, the location of Bone Mountain is a mystery. No other human beings have ever appeared here. How did he find this place? Strange. Another man frowned. Maybe when Miss Xue went out decades ago. Another man seemed to recall something and murmured. What is this place? Xiao Yan had just opened his eyes when he was immediately enveloped by the rising poisonous miasma from below. It felt as though he was trapped in a transparent mirror, unable to move. The poisonous air around him was potent enough to easily tear him apart. What terrifying poison barrier power! Xiao Yan frowned, surprised by the strength of the poison. It was on par with the power of a 7-star Do Xian, and he clicked his tongue in amazement. That's not right. I clearly followed the lotus leaf Su Shuiying gave me. There's no way I've made a mistake. Xiao Yan looked around, hoping to spot any buildings, but he found nothing. All he could see were the overwhelming poisonous miasma, green poisonous vines, countless eerie bones, and the greedy swamp below. Aside from that, there was no other strange sight. Whoosh! Whoosh! While Xiao Yan was distracted, the invisible poison miasma compressed violently, roaring toward him. The crushing pressure distorted the entire environment. If this continues, he'll die. Seeing this scene, one of the men hiding in the shadows couldn't help but mutter, his expression grim. Forget him. Our position must not be exposed. That's the matriarch's order. The other man firmly rejected, though with his strength, he couldn't discern Xiao Yan's exact power. After all, he was a 5-star Docian. A trivial trick. Seeing this, Xiao Yan casually waved his hand. Instantly, amber-colored flames surrounded his body, burning the poison miasma to nothing, leaving only void behind. Strange. Where is the Xiao clan guardian? After clearing the immediate threat, Xiao Yan frowned. The lotus leaf had already been crushed in his hand, and it was impossible to use it again. The space here felt strange, and Xiao Yan vaguely sensed that something was off. This is Bone Mountain? After a moment, Xiao Yan's gaze and spiritual power slowly probed toward the Bone Mountain ahead. The two men hidden behind the Bone Mountain's barrier also eyed him warily. The three of them took turns maintaining their vigilance, not knowing how long it would last. Meanwhile, far in the distance, a figure familiar to Xiao Yan slowly appeared. Xiao, the newly promoted Yellow Hall Master of the Soul Hall. He was still draped in a black robe, but now, there were no Soul Hall experts around him. Instead, there were 5 eerie, dark coffins surrounding him. On the dark coffins, ancient and complicated evil runes enveloped them, and waves of sinister, eerie power constantly swirled and spilled out. The force was terrifying beyond measure. Xiao Clan Guardian, the things you are guarding are better left to us in the Soul Hall. Gentlemen, please do treat your old friends well. It was no easy task bringing you back to life. Rustle, rustle. Within that force, faint traces of faith and strands of the demonic energy collected from the demon-suppressing prison by Xiao earlier were subtly interwoven. The interaction between these two forces seemed to transform into an even more terrifying power. This power felt extraordinarily eerie and evil, something never encountered before. What's going on? After a moment, Xiao Yan's gaze slowly shifted to the strange Bone Mountain before him, stacked high with skeletal remains. He spoke in confusion. Thanks to his exceptional soul perception, Xiao Yan could distinctly detect a strange scent emanating from this Bone Mountain. Although the presence was extremely subtle, it bore a striking resemblance to the aura he had sensed from Su Shuiying earlier. Moreover, Su Shuiying's figure was nowhere to be seen in this filthy swamp of corpses, which made Xiao Yan increasingly suspicious. Even the countless toxic gases in this marsh, upon touching the Bone Mountain, were effortlessly devoured and extinguished by it. Clearly, this Bone Mountain was no ordinary thing. Xiao Yan also believed that the lotus leaf space left by the girl wasn't just a conduit to their place of residence, but also contained spatial pathways that could offer him refuge from dangers. Clearly, Su Shuiying's original intention wasn't to leave things this way. This place is too harsh. If the guardians really exist here, it's truly chilling, Xiao Yan murmured as he observed the rugged, treacherous Bone Mountain and the eerie, sinister marsh of corpses below. It seemed as though something was stirring in his heart. However, this chilling zone likely harbored some secrets no one knew, and if the Xiao clan's guardians truly existed here, then perhaps, as the senior in the Demon Fate Celestial Cave had said, the Xiao clan indeed owed them an immense debt. In this region, within 100 miles, only this Bone Mountain seems strange. Now, I suppose I'll have to try. If it doesn't work, I may have no choice but to temporarily give up. Xiao Yan carefully surveyed his surroundings, then locked his gaze on the towering mountain of bones before him. For some reason, an incredibly odd aura began to emanate from it, and Xiao Yan clearly felt the urgency of time. He couldn't afford to waste much longer. Extraterritorial evil clans, sin, and Soul Hall were matters he needed to handle personally. The boundless fire domain had only recently been established, and it had to grow rapidly to become a pillar of support in the Great Thousand Worlds. After a moment, a faint wave of sensation spread within Xiao Yan's body. That perception made him feel as though there was something within the Bone Mountain that was drawing him in. Whatever it was certainly powerful enough to threaten the entire Great Thousand Worlds. Otherwise, it wouldn't have caused such a heated reaction from Xiao Yan. Time is of the essence. Let's make our move. Break it. Without further ado, Xiao Yan's body was enveloped in a radiant amber flame, which condensed into layers of blazing fire rings. The rings were inscribed with dazzling, scorching sacred flame patterns, purifying the toxic marshes surrounding him. In the blink of an eye, like fire rings, they roared towards the Bone Mountain. The fierce power and terrifying heat seemed to burn the very space around them, twisting it and sending shivers down one's spine. Buzz, buzz, buzz. A buzzing sound rang out as the energy of the fire rings made contact with the Bone Mountain. The entire space began to stir, and a dry, dull fluctuation distorted the very void. Not good. This guy is attacking the Bone Mountain's barrier. At this moment, the two guards, quietly floating within the Bone Mountain, spoke in deep voices. Xiao Yan's origins were unclear, and his power was extremely strange and special. Even they, with all their strength, were helpless against him. If Xiao Yan truly discovered the secrets of the Bone Mountain, their fate would be, let's act according to the situation. At this point, calling for reinforcements would be too late. The two could only grit their teeth, their eyes extremely serious as they spoke. The Bone Mountain's barrier was clearly the last layer of defense surrounding their territory. If it were broken, their secrets would be exposed. Therefore, no matter what, the two guards had already decided that they could not allow Xiao Yan to breach it. Otherwise, they would become the eternal criminals, a burden they couldn't bear. Soul power? Flame power? When the amber fire rings first engulfed the enormous Bone Mountain, waves of trembling energy surged from within Xiao Yan's body. The source of this power, astonishingly, was the collision between the flames and the Bone Mountain. Seems there are indeed secrets here. After a moment, Xiao Yan narrowed his eyes and smiled faintly. His internal power surged once again, like a torrent of water, and he immediately unleashed it upon the Bone Mountain. Damn it! Increase the power. At this moment, the two guards' faces darkened. Their internal forces surged, continuously strengthening the Bone Mountain's defenses. For a time, the two sides engaged in a slow standoff, neither willing to give in. As for Su Xiao and the others, they secretly followed Xiao Yan, preparing to enter with him. However, the two guards were clearly no match for Xiao Yan. Even with the protection of the Bone Mountain's barrier, it was unlikely they could hold out for long. After all, Xiao Yan had already reached the mid-7-star Docian level. Combined with the countless powers within him, his strength was on an entirely different level compared to before. Meanwhile, something else was happening inside the Bone Mountain. From the outside, this place appeared to be a mountain of bones, eerie and foreboding, enough to make anyone hesitate to approach. But within, there was an entirely different world. The mysterious barrier and its isolation made it impossible to see clearly from the outside. Inside, however, it was a land of wonder, like a paradise. Clouds and mist surrounded the area, with trees full of spiritual energy rising from the ground. Majestic mountains and flowing springs decorated the land, giving it an air of solemnity and sanctity. Within these mountains, smoke lingered, indicating the presence of human habitation. Among the peaks, one mountain stood taller than the rest, filled with an eternal aura of ancient slumber. The power emanating from it surpassed even the 8-star level and approached the realm of reincarnation, truly awe-inspiring. Inside the Bone Mountain, in the midst of clouds and mist, was a hillside where a simple garden stood. The ground was covered with rare medicinal herbs, their fragrance floating in the air. Just a breath of the scent was enough to refresh the mind and stir the soul. The garden was filled with lush flowers and plants, some of them precious medicinal herbs. These contributed to the natural barrier that protected this mountain region, creating a sanctuary of sorts. Drip, drip, crystal-clear dewdrops, like rain, fell from the plants, showing that the garden had been carefully tended to by someone with great care. At the same time, a graceful figure stood in the midst of this garden. With just a glimpse of her back, she could outshine countless beauties. Her long, flowing hair cascaded like a waterfall, adding to her ethereal presence and making her aura all the more majestic. Such beauty was unmatched in the mortal world, a mesmerizing woman whose allure could captivate anyone. This was the true inner sanctum of Bone Mountain, the last sanctuary of the Xiao clan's guardians.